fairy costs more, but it goes further. In fact, over 100 romper suits further than the concentrated liquid. Bottle for bottle, fairy non-biological goes further.
The amount we cram into our lives these days. No wonder we sometimes get indigestion and heartburn. Fight back with fast-acting Rennie. It relieves more people in Britain than any other indigestion remedy. Rennie, fast relief from indigestion and heartburn.
Whatever type of house you live in, Neville Johnson has a quality kitchen to suit you. With a wide range of oak, pine, mahogany, hand-painted, limed oak or laminate finishes, you can trust Neville Johnson for genuine value for money. And for a limited period, we're offering quality Nev kitchen appliances at half price, so there's never been a better time to buy a Neville Johnson kitchen. There's a new exclusive range of fitted bedroom furniture too. Neville Johnson, Chester Road, Stretford, Junction 7 off the M63 or Water Lane, Wilmslow.
Monday, Alma's the uneasy bearer of a secret.
Would you like me to reserve you a table for the Hogmanay dinner dance?
Most certainly.
And in the morning, the paper?
The Independent.
And I don't suppose you'll be requiring an early call tomorrow, will you?
You suppose right.
Des poses a problem at 8.
How much are we going to tip the dustman? I worked it out last year. I left him one of my long-playing records. You should have seen what he left in my drive.
Some people just don't know when they've outstayed their welcome.
Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
Top girl Tina turns on the gloss at 11. The best in entertainment for Monday, here on Granada.
At 11:05, Melvyn Bragg will be looking at the best of the arts in 1991 in a South Bank Show celebration. But now, Julie Walters and friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Julie Walters.
Do you know what happens if you pick scabs?
What?
Worms go in.
They don't.
They do. You know your television?
Yeah.
How many knobs has it got on it?
2.
Ours has 3.
Well, I don't care, because I'm getting a bracelet.
Do you want to do this game?
What one?
It's right good, this.
No, because I'm going for my dinner.
No, because this is really good. Honest, swear on the Bible.
That's what you said about Jesus.
What?
You said he was going to be on Jukebox Jury.
Yeah, well, no, but this is really good, right? And what it is, right, I say something, and you have to say balls after it.
What for?
Because it's a good game, right? My brother told me it's really, really good. So, whatever I say, you have to say it, after that word. Red.
Red.
No, I say red, and you have to say balls after when I've said red.
Balls.
No, wait till I've said red.
Balls.
No, shut up, Anne. I'm saying it now. Red.
Red balls.
No, I say red, and you say balls.
I said red. I said red balls.
When I say red, then you say it. Go on.
You haven't said red.
Oh, that was you muddling me up. Red.
Balls.
Orange. Go on.
You haven't said red.
Whatever I say, you say balls. You say red.
said orange before.
It doesn't matter. Keep the kettle boiling.
Balls.
Purple
Balls.
green.
Balls.
Orange.
We've had them balls.
Turquoise.
Balls.
Navy blue.
Balls.
Jane Mansfield.
Balls.
You said it.
What?
I'm not saying it.
What?
Do it again. Jane Mansfield.
Balls.
And Dawson! I'm telling.
What?
What you said.
What?
Jane Mansfield's balls. Do you get it?
Yeah. It's really funny, is that?
Julie Walters is a person, a woman type person, to be effect, and she has hair and some feet, and she does washing up and drying, and that's really all I know.
Is that okay, that sort of thing? Is that the sort of thing you wanted? Yeah?
Hello. I'm Mary Brazel, and I'm 53. Yes, 53. Intrigued? I think you will be. I have a smooth skin, no tension lines or wrinkles, and absolutely boundless tranquil energy. What's my secret? Not tranquilizers. Simply relaxation. Yes, I have devised a 5-minute daily relaxation routine that can be used anywhere, even while shopping or having relations. We all experience stress in our daily lives. Some of us may have more than one home to run, or may even have some sort of a job. I myself am a qualiful if I beg your pardon? Did I really? How silly of me. From whence are we? The top? No, I'm delighted to do it again. What will it be? Another of your lovely waves? Do you have a pattern for that cardigan? It's exquisite. Very unusual for Aaron. Turquoise. Hello. I'm Mary. I'm sorry. I thought you had waved. No, absolutely my fault. I see. As your hand comes down. I see. Will that be soon? I see. Waiting for the clock. One's heard of this clock, but never been privileged to pop one's peepers on it as yet. 5 seconds. Thank you. Hello. I'm Mary Brazel, and I'm 53. Yes, 53. Intrigued? I think you will be. I have a smooth skin, no tension. What? But surely you're on one's face. Oh, camera 2. I follow. One hadn't quite realized. Hello, Graham. With an A? As in green? Do you all love our Brighton Rock? Dear Dickie Attenborough. What a family. David is super for wildlife, but I feel you can't beat Dickie. I'm very much touched by Dickie's Gandhi. Sorry, yes. All serene groin-wise? No break for me. That's the joy of my system. Even during this, I'm relaxing. There's Hurley, there's Burley, but Mary Brazel is in equilibrium. I beg your pardon? A joke, Graham. I'm saddened I missed it. Yes? Okay to begin again, gentlemen.
And may I just say, everybody, incidentally, how very much I appreciate the professionalism, kindness, and teamwork that's bringing my little home video to fruition. And, of course, there'll be copies for all on completion at the wholesale price. Thank you, Gemma, on your way. Hello. I'm Mary Brazel, and I'm 53. Yes, 53. I think you will be. I'm sorry, yes, I know. Mr. Werner, no. Gemma, I don't need to look at the... I did write it. Absolutely, straight away. Hello. I'm Mary Brazel, and I'm 53. Yes, 53. Yes, 53. Don't you? I think you will be. May I just say, that's rather a peremptory gesture, Gemma. If one has to stop, then so be it. But this signalling... Well, you're not a dog on a zebra. Well, I felt it was rather effective, the repetition, Colin. But no, please, let's do it all over again from the beginning. Shall we get going? As they say in Yorkshire. Hello. No, you didn't wave. You didn't wave. I jumped the gun. Hello. I'm Mary Brazel, and I'm 53. I'm sorry, I thought we agreed blue flowers for the table. It's very distracting working with pink in this way. I'm sorry, I'm a perfectionist. Think of me as a small dickie. Very difficult, having a microphone wagged at one on a stick. People with armpits strolling around with cables. But I'm fine. I'm calm. I'm in rhythm. That is the beauty of the Brazel system, no matter how shoddy or lax the circumstances. Serenity reigns. This take will be it. I feel this. Hello. Now I've forgotten my bloody name, you bunch of critics! Work like this. Cameras coming in and out like lawnmowers, Gemma in the toofiest piece of knitwear since the Shroud of Turin. No help from the gallery. Colin? Who is Colin? Jumped up Nancy boy. 2 quiz shows and a courtier. Oh, lot of you make me heave, heave, heave. Don't take 2 of these. We'll try it all over again from the beginning.
Which natural source of energy can help to generate cleaner electricity? Spark is helping to develop the UK's first commercial wind farm. National power ahead of current thinking.
Sure, won't let you down.
You want snow? You got snow? Peter, have you heard about Lumpoly's January sale? You can book a holiday with only a £5 deposit. A £5 deposit? Get away.
Papa?
Nicole!
Some are happy with sheer power. Others prefer more refinement. Happily, you can now have both. The 16-valve Renault Clio.
Next to you. Thanks very much.
Bye.
I think you're next, sir.
Yeah.
What's it to be then?
Just a trim, please.
You could have a Lionel Blair cut, like mine.
Lionel Blair doesn't have his hair cut like yours.
That's if he comes here.
Time for a sharp exit. Time for a cool, sharp harp.
Pint of harp, please, Chief.
What I can do, I can seat 8 around my breakfast bar, and Karina can have my beanbag. Yeah. Or I can budge my 8 that are up around my breakfast bar up around adjacent to my servery and put my fold away by my breakfast bar. Yeah. And then with my 8 by my microwave and my beanbag similar, I can have 3 on my fold away if no one's dicey hip-wise, 2 tinies on the tip-up and Granny's flat-back carver.
But Granny's dicey hip-wise.
Yes, I know, so she's in a slap-back carver, leg up on the tumpty. 2 next door than my mother on the fold-away. 8 by my microwave, 3 tinies on the tip-up in the beanbag, and I've still got my bar stools for my Pauline's in-laws.
He has to sit low, doesn't he?
He does, the beggar. He had a bowel done during a work to rule. He was never properly knotted.
I remember.
If he don't keep his knees up above his underpants, his buttocks cave in. So, my 8 by my microwave, my 3 on my fold-away, Gran on my slap-back carver, her on a bar stool, in by the fish on the tumpty. The tumpty. Tumpty.
What's Gran got a leg up on then now?
Fish tank. It's not that high, and it'll give the carp a new perspective. So, now I have a bar stool vacant for me Mr. Whittaker, who's doing me icing.
Isn't it below your bar stool?
Well, it's one-way plush. Why?
Mr. Whittaker is allergic to pile.
You're right. Blade there. Anything fleecy back to gets convulsions. You have to take your teeth out and talk louder. No, we're all right. Our Peters Neville can have my bar stool. Mr. Whittaker can hutch up by my mini-whisk. Got him bobbed down on my tumpty, her popped up on the fish tank, and then from Cardiff can mingle in my extension.
What about her with swollen ankles?
Oh, she's trouble all round, her with the blooming sex changes. I never know whether to get her to wash up or push start a Montego. Well, no. We're out of chairs now. She can park herself by me Alibaba and lump it.
So, hurry up.
So, I've got me 8 by my microwave. Tip up, yes. Beanbag, yes. Bar stools, yes. With a leg up, in with his bottom down. Got me fold away, got me extension, got me Alibaba, and that still leaves me a reinforced peg back and an ironing board.
Right.
Right.
So, what's the drill tonight, then, eh?
Well, I'll whip you, shall I? Shall I rip your corset off? No? What then? Baby oil, python?
I don't know Julie all that well, but I have been to bed with her once, near Keighley in 1982. I kept my wife fronts on, but in what I suppose passed for foreplay, Julie eventually persuaded me to part with my vest. It was all in the course of art. She was a nurse, I was a school teacher. But I like to think that the experience stood her in good stead when a few years later she had to go to bed with Michael Caine. And not the least of the satisfactions looking back on one's life is that one has been a small rung in the ladder of Julie's career. And who knows, possibly of Michael's too.
I'd just got to bed tonight when the police burst in again. 3 of them this time, cum dog. There's the usual carry-on. Barging through the flat, rooting in every drawer, no clue as to what they're after, until, lo and behold, the dog pinpoints a firearm in the lavatory cistern. Well, they have a celebratory lager in the kitchen where one of them has the bright idea of giving Rover some of tomorrow's trifle. Only later on this backfires because you see the dog throwing up in the squad car. It was new to me, was the trifle business, but that apart, it was just routine. Happens all the time. Twice in the same night, sometimes. Last Thursday, for instance, having failed to convince them through the letterbox that their quest was fruitless, I opened the door to 2 plainclothes detectives. That was at 8:15 on Granada. Then at 9:30 on BBC 2, the uniform branch invades the bedroom, claiming they've had a tip-off. One of the first things you learn when you play criminals' wives is that it pays to have a housecoat handy. My overriding concern during these visits from the police, or the bill, as we've been taught to call them, is that no harm should come to the kiddies. When it comes to my children, I am invariably called upon to display a fierce animal protectiveness against all comers, my husband included. I am determined they shall not follow in their father's footsteps. Well, these are generally the only footsteps that interest them. If they do call round, the law never get anything out of me. While I constantly badger my husband to abandon his criminal career, my role requires that I treat the inquiries of the police with sarcasm or incomprehension, and I do not give ground when they employ their usual tactic of appealing to me as a decent woman. Look, I am a decent woman. On the rare occasions I'm not, they invariably cast someone prettier. The police always seem to know me by my first name, never referring to me by my married one, but always as Lil, Dolly, or Sal, as if the police and criminals were all part of the same family. They generally appeal to what they imagine to be my underlying decency, and by revealing information about my husband's criminal activities, which 9 times out of 10 I do not have, they urge me to do myself a favor. My response is negative and forceful, whereupon they tell me to leave it out, a phrase they've picked up off the television, meaning give over. The writers generally locate characters like me in one of 2 settings. The first is a council flat, one of a row set on a 10th floor gallery along which the law is frequently compelled to stampede in hot pursuit of my husband. The other is a large detached home set in its own grounds in Totteridge or Ruislip and bought out of the proceeds of villainy. It is furnished in execrable taste and is full of the worst that money can buy. I'm ill at ease in these palatial surroundings. The relatively rustic peace lost on me, and without even a laundrette to go to, take to drinking in the afternoons and hanker after the council flat, even with the drawback of the police regularly belting along the balcony outside. When we have gone up in the world, my husband will often have a regular mistress, who with her willowy figure and immaculate appearance is markedly better looking than I am. She's often a woman of some education. The writers having got it into their heads that sophisticated women such as this are turned on by violent puddings like my husband, though he will often afford me a grudging respect that he does not give to her. This is because, if not her equal, I am certainly his match. In several scripts, I've been given a friend, a woman slightly younger than myself and temperamentally less dour. Her philosophy is that life is for living, and though her circumstances are much the same as my own, her tits are bigger. So she's unashamedly out for a good time and wants to convert me to the same way of thinking. I've only to get into a cocktail dress, she insists, and I will find I am still an attractive woman. And in one script, she told me I had an admirer who
was, even now, waiting in the wings. A middle-aged butcher of some discernment who liked women of character and has recently buried his wife. He was just waiting for the green light, so why not give it a whirl? Though I do not hanker after the bright lights or the dim ones that invariably follow, I eventually agreed to let this widower take me out to a candlelit supper. While I'm touched by the solicitude of my escort who arrived drenched in aftershave lotion and clutching flowers, I do not enjoy myself. I have no interest in my avocado, knowing as the unsuspecting widower tucks into his that should this meal come to the ears of my lawful and lawless husband, he will hunt down this simple butcher and cut off his toes with an edging tool. Out of consideration for his feelings, I allow my admirer to take me to bed, where he treats me with a textbook tenderness and attention to detail that I find touching, but which leaves me untouched. Instead, I find myself hankering after the sweaty and unlotioned inattentions of my criminal husband, who as often as not comes to bed in socks and vest in a towering rage. And so the relationship never takes wing. And it is not long after that that the widower is knocked down and killed by a hit-and-run driver. I never know whether to blame this on my husband, and needless to say, we do not discuss the matter. But the experience is not repeated. Insofar as the writers seldom let me get much pleasure out of life, I suppose my role is a moral one. Though I have been frequently brought up a Catholic, the creed to which my way of life attests is that there is a morality in which the payment of taxes has no place, the observance of the law no part, my whole hope the welfare and betterment of my children. I've recently graduated from doing a succession of criminals' wives to portraying the wife of a detective sergeant in a long-running TV series. I was looking forward to this change of role and the opportunities it would give me of showing myself caring and supportive and sharing in the stresses and satisfactions of the life of a dedicated crime fighter. No fear. I don't like my husband being a detective any more than I usually liked him being a criminal. But I'm still the same miserable cow with no tits I always play. And people say, well, it's only acting, isn't it? I suppose it is. Except I'm getting to the stage where I can't imagine ever being anything else. I suppose I've found what's called my niche.
She's up in her bedroom, drying her hair. She calls to her mother. What should she wear? Not that it matters at all in the end. It's only a drink with a friend of a friend. It's not a romance. She's bought this mascara, a purpley blue. She's not sure it suits her, but what can you do? It's only a wine bar, it's only a drink. Supposing he likes her, well, what do you think? A modern romance. 'Cause love can struggle up between the lines, can just take over and ruin your own designs. She's up in her bedroom with 3 of the girls. They help put the veil on and fasten her pearls. All through the service she thinks of the fuss if she walked down the aisle and just got on a bus. A modern romance. They're stuck at the airport, a 3-hour delay. They sit in their new clothes with nothing to say. He stubs out his fag in a throwaway cup. She touches his hand, but he doesn't look up. A modern romance. But love can struggle up between the lines and just take over and ruin your own designs. She's up in their bedroom, banging about. She hopes that it wakes him. She feels like a shout. The baby was crying, it wasn't her turn. They had an agreement, and when will he learn a modern romance? He's stroking her hair now. He says it's like silk. She says that she's sick of smelling of milk. They're holding each other and hanging on tight. He says, let's stick with this, it has to come right. The sun hits the curtains, the room's full of light, and the sun shines, 'cause love can struggle up between the lines.
They said to me, write a 60-second piece in which you say how brilliant and fabulous and down-to-earth and multi-talented Julie is, and how you loved working with her in Educating Rita, and how she can turn emotion from laughter to tears with the most superb economy of acting you've ever seen. And trying to write it has almost driven me nuts. Not because any of that is untrue, but because Jules doesn't know that this is going to happen. It's going to be sprung upon her in a sort of in-show, this is your life piece. And every time I wrote an admiring line about her, I could imagine Julie herself hearing it, and I could hear the unmistakable, throaty Julie Walters' laugh of derision and disbelief, and could see her making that delicate gesture of putting her fingers down her throat. She's never been one to suffer praise gladly, and so I couldn't write any. And therefore, I can't tell you that when you work with Julie, you come away knowing that you've rubbed shoulders with perfection. Couldn't write anything like that. Finally, all I could come up with was, Julie Walters, well, what if she does? I can't do nothing about it. I hate poems.
I hate poets, too. Mixing with poets gives you the flu. If you don't believe me and you think I'm mad, just look what it's done to Melvyn Bragg.
Yeah, he's all bound up with snot and guitar.
Don't mix him with poets, see, there you are.
Bring back Huey. Bring back Huey. Bring back Huey Green.
I hate novels.
And novelists.
They live in novels and they've all got cysts.
Syphilis, soup, an athlete's foot, Flaubert, Proust and Vonnegut.
Plotting all kinds of prose to depress us with their dirty minds and their word processors.
Their twitching, raving yellow eyes.
An insatiable craving for a Booker Prize.
Starts off as nothing, just squiggles with a pen.
Then you start coughing and sweating, and then...
You pray, God grant you a swift departure.
Before you turn into a Jeffrey Archer.
Condemned forever to sit and scribble like a William Trevor or a Margaret Dribble.
Drabble.
Dribble.
Drabble.
Dribble, drabble, dribble, drabble, dribble.
I hate art and art galleries. If you start with the art, you get the disease. Art burn. Art attacks.
Artichoke and artifacts.
Arteritis, carbuncles.
St. Vitus, Art Garfunkels.
Arty-farty flatulence. Apples up your brain till it got no sense. Oh, look at that stupid Scott Van Gogh.
Tried to cut his ear all off.
If I painted like him, I'd do the same, but I wouldn't stop cutting till I reached the brain.
Bring back Dick.
Give us more Dick.
Bring back Dick, son of Doc Green. I hate Tchaikovsky and classical ballet. It makes you go soft, so you know, doodle, Annie.
And your balls go deformed. They do. They do.
I know. I've seen it on BBC Two.
Stick right out like Clingfield plums.
Like winter sprouts.
Like Chelsea buns.
Bring back cum.
Let's have cum.
Bring back cum.
Dancing.
We hate architecture, don't we? Us and the Prince.
Oh, I heard his lecture. I've been terrified since. It causes carbuncles and botulism, all this full-frontal neoclassicalism.
You know, an architect's brain is the size of a lentil. But there's no two the same. They're individually mental. Some see fundamental, others just plain elemental.
Experimental, ornamental, lentil mental.
Bring back Fanny.
Where's the Fanny?
Bring back Fanny. Haddock.
Craddock.
8 plays. They get on me wick.
They last for days and they make you sick.
Strindberg, Chekhov and the RSC, they bore the bleeding neck off me.
You're just sitting there with dead numb bums waiting for Godot, but he never bleeding comes.
That bloody Barbican. It's full of vegetarians, all eating lettuce off pebble-dash bread and tarama salata till they look half dead. I said they don't serve spam, I said they don't serve spam, I said they don't serve spam at the Barbican.
But I like the ones who've got the guts to ban the art and make the cut, and make those artists drop their pants and cut off their arts council grants.
Someday soon they'll set us free from all this effing artistry. And there'll be no more theatres, no museums,
Libraries, galleries, operas, ballets,
poems, poets or orchestras.
and then they'll bring back Huey, bring back Huey, bring back Huey Green.
Look what's down at Do It All now. Pine doors down £10. Door handles half price. Crown emulsion down 3. Polycleanse down £1. Crystal wall tiles down 2. Fiji bathroom suite down 50. Blown vinyl down 2. Bath taps down 5. Smoke alarm down 2. Cladding down 5. Plus a free £5 gift voucher for every £25 you spend.
It's down at Do It All. Why aren't you?
Pick up any tips?
Yeah. Always rub salt on a wine stain and never trust a man in a tank top. How about you?
Surefire winner straight from the horse's mouth. It'll cost you, mind.
Yeah. And they're off. So what's this dead cert then?
Couldn't beat contender.
I'd have thought Wayward Lad was more your speed. McEwen's Export. Class in a glass.
Pay only what the trade pay at Kamikaze Ken's Kitchen Market. Quality, rigid kitchens in a range of finishes, or build your own from a huge stock of components. Worktops, shelves, carcasses, doors and drawers, units, plinths, hinges and handles, cornices, fretwork. You want kitchens? Ken's got them at trade prices. At Guinness Road, Trafford Park, Junction 3, M63.
Is I'm a people person. I don't care about myself, don't think about myself. It's people with me. Are you like that? I am. The thing about other people is they're so damn fascinating. You see, what people don't realise is you don't have to be rich to be interesting. I've met people in the garment industry, lucky if they top 12,000 max. But they can have a story to tell. Friends say to me, "You're mad, Rona. Rona, you're mad." They can't get you anywhere, these people. Don't waste your time. I say, "You're wrong, Bobby," or Malk, or whomsoever. You're so wrong. Because we're all human, most of us, aren't we? That's quite nice, actually, the blackcurrant sorbet. Smart for town, isn't it? I'm old-fashioned, I know, regrooming, but I see the girls these days, and I'm adjacent to vomiting. To speak frankly, with the way they groom, we had gloves, we had girdles. I had female surgery 3 times, 59 through 60, and each time my husband was in the next day at visiting time with a girdle. Oh, most absolutely. Because we cared then. We had pride. People talk about apartheid and slavery, but I say those pickaninnies on those plantations, they had pride. They belonged. Otherwise, why were they singing? You see, you can't make people sing. Slave or no slave. Like the East Berliners. Are they happy now? I don't think so. I don't think they're happy. They may have a bigger choice of smoking materials, but they're not contented. When that wall came down, can't think who it was I was with now. With Brian, were they? And I said, they're singing now. In 6 months, they'll be begging for a re-erection. It's like Israel. That's never really worked as an idea. Do you know the Jews?
I'm Jewish, actually.
A lot of my doctors have been Jews. I have Jewish friends. A Jewish lady who buys my coats. I love them. Love the Jews. Friends say to me, Rona, they're wily. They like a deal. I say, yes, they do, and they're damn good at it. But they're warm, you see. They have heart, and I've got a lot of time for people with heart. But I have friends who wanted to go to Israel. I said to them, no. I said, what was her name? Naomi. I said, no. I said, what has Israel got you haven't got in Stockport? They had a beautiful detached property around the back of Ringway Airport there. All rag road. I said, you won't get that in Haifa. Quite nice, the length, actually, isn't it? Can be masculine, a short cut, but if you have the femininity, as I have. I see the girls these days. Oh, black leggings, black... I'm glad my husband's dead, to be frank. Are you married?
No, I live with my girlfriend.
All this black? You may as well be in Saudi. I had gorgeous footwear in my 20s. Sexy, strappy, feminine. These dumpy shoes they wear. You may as well be a lesbian. And I'm not knocking them. I've got a lot of homosexual friends. But in a woman, I'm sorry. I think it's silly. I shouldn't take the notice. I'm too observant. Friends say to me, Rona, you're frighteningly observant. And I am. I'm like a metronome. I drink it all up. I meet someone for 2 minutes, I could tell you everything about them. Friends say to me, Rona, you're remarkable. You are truly remarkable. I say, no, I'm not, Sydney. Or Marcus. Or 2 other people. I'm not. My secret is, and it's very simple, I'm a listener. I listen.
I'll just leave that to dry.
I don't care what they say about Saudi. I'd go back there like a shot. If I didn't have the 2 Yorkies, no question. I had the most fabulous 5 years there. Say what you like about sexual repression. The Saudis we dealt with were fabulous itself to we white women. I can picture them all now. Never forget a face. Barry, you see my nail girl, dear? What? Oh, is there more than one? Oh, I don't know. Would you have had on an overall? Well, tell her I'm not happy with the black currant. I believe I spat on your dress. Now, the nut most people miss about the twist, I think, is that a lot of it depends on the elbows. That's true of quite a lot of terpsichore, I believe. Fred Astaire pointed that out to me one evening over a bottle of Bass.
Did you know him?
Know him? He's still got my wallpaper table. No, he's a good old bloke, is Fred. Got a lot of time for Fred. I must say it was a marvellous buffet, wasn't it? Good British food, nicely laid out, plenty of serviettes, ideal. I said to them, we're all British, we'll eat British. No garlic, none of this lasagna. You ever had that?
No.
Oof, it's Italian, you know. They tried to give it to me once, in a restaurant. This was in Camberley. I said, oh, no, you don't, George. You could send out for a pork pie. This I am not having.
We had a laugh about it, you know, but fair's fair. You don't put in 4 years as a desert rat to have wop slop waved under your nose in Camberley. I must say, Nobby and the lads are making a marvellous job of the music. I don't think I've heard a Donald Pierce medley played better. Winston was a big fan of Donald's, you know.
Winston Churchill?
Oh, indeedy. We were quite a pair at one time, Winnie and I. In fact, he once told rather an off-colour story at the Conservative Club. This was in Camberley. Oh, we in hot water with the committee. Pretty much squared it, I think, eventually, you know. My wife never took to him, unfortunately. Said the cigar smoke got in the drapes or something, I don't know. She never really saw further than the kitchen sink, old Irene. Caused a lot of problems over the years, I think, you know. I popped back one evening with a few of the trapeze artists from the Moscow State Circus. Nice lads, didn't want much. Bit of cold meat, cream cracker, she hit the roof. Very tricky situation for me. I mean, fair's fair. You marry a bloke. His pals want an in-between meals bit of a snack. You buckle down in that kitchen pronto. That's not incorrect, surely. No, you see, what Irene could never understand is that a wife can never, no matter how hard she tries, can never be more than a woman. Whereas a pal has the unmitigated advantage of being a bloke. Irene could never see this. I had a couple of mates. Like me, they were in washers in Camberley, a couple of bachelor lads. And one evening, we didn't have a lot on, they said, could they pop back with me to Snowdon Villas? And if and when Irene and I engaged in a spot of marital activity, could they watch? I said, you betcha, boys. It's not like they were asking to sit in on me doing something tricky, like playing in a door frame. But Irene, old story hit the roof. I mean, fair's fair. I'd cycled all over with these boys. Egan, Redding, solid gold, a pair of them. Go on, Chalky! Give it a bit of legwork! Hey, it's been marvellous. Seeing everybody letting their hair down. Really is marvellous. A few bottles of fizz. Good old get-together. Just right.
It's been very nice.
Well, I like to push the boat out occasionally, you know. I mean, fair's fair. Old Irene, not the most exciting woman in the world, but I wanted to give her a decent send-off. Nobby, slow waltz, mate, and off to the crematorium.
Beautiful, sensual, erotic, a magnificent actress, the kind of woman any man would go anywhere to meet. Yes, well, that's what I think about Michelle Pfeiffer, but as for Julie Walters, I think it's fairly obvious that she is my favourite actress. She's brave, she's honest, she's wildly attractive, stronger than she often realises, and she is hysterically funny. In everything I write, I always try to create a part for Julie. In fact, I wrote a play about 4 men once, and I still wanted her to take the lead. And actually, I think that if the great men of theatre and literature, people like Shakespeare and Beckett, George Bernard Shaw and Dickens, were alive today, they too would be equally as desperate to write for her. And the whole male-dominated course of drama could well have been changed. Julie Walters starring in Mrs. Crapp's last tape, Martina Chuzzlewit, Queen Lear, Nicola Nickleby, Arms of the Woman, Gone with the Wind, a cleaner, and especially Julie Caesar and Citizen Jane.
Well,
Well, if you really want to know about our Michael, you know, Michael Murray, my son, the civic leader, the former civic leader. Well, he got 7 years in jail. They put him in a closed prison for now, but soon he'll be in one like his mouth was when he got 7 years. You know, open. Mind you, I was discomfited myself at the time. Not that Michael's my favourite son, you understand. God knows at times he wouldn't be my favourite son if he was an only child. It was somewhat of a shock to me the way I read the sentence. When I heard it, when the judge said the sentence, he said 7 years for each of the 16 offences, and then he said something else. But all I could think of was heaven help him. 7 times 16, that's a lot of satin years. He might never see me again, because I'm not at all keen on visiting prisons. They never make you at all welcome. And I'm not one for high walls and small windows. Very difficult to decorate. But Michael writes to me letters and shopping lists, more like, asking for things, all sorts of things. Hairy Star or vitamin C, around the world in 80 days by someone or other. Nail clippers, coconut oil, hazelnut whirls, tin treacle tart, a set of cutlery. Your own cutlery is very hard to come by in prison. And I always write back and send him a copy of the catechism and a set of rosary beads. I never send him what he wants, what's on his list. Oh, no. Wouldn't be right. I mean, for heaven's sake, you're supposed to suffer when you're being punished. And if you ask me, there's not enough suffering about these days. Not at all. Not like when I was young. For all I wanted to do when I was young was dance. But more often than not, I had to suffer instead. A little suffering does you no harm at all, no. And I'm used to it now. But I still want to dance. And nowadays, the young, they don't dance. Just like they don't suffer. Although sometimes they look as though they're suffering, but it seems they're dancing. But I don't hate the young. No, how can you hate what you wish you were? Very easily, actually, now that I think about it. But the dancing, how I loved the dancing. I went to my very first big dance when I was 14, in the dance hall just to the north of Ballyvaughan. Oh, we danced. We did. We danced. And then I was sent over here and I got married. And I didn't dance no more. Except sometimes secretly, on my own, when I was still young. Well, indeed. I don't live in the luxury apartment now. Oh, no. They came and took it away after they arrested our Michael. I cheered. When they took it away, not when they arrested our Michael. No, it wouldn't have been right to cheer. Not exactly, not for a mother. Not cheer. Clap, perhaps. But they didn't actually take the luxury apartment away, not in the manner of speaking. It's still there, no doubt, stuck in the middle of Sodden nowhere. No, they took me away. Said how sorry they were. I said, sorry. I've been wanting to firebomb the place from the very day our Michael dumped me there. But I love it where I am now. In the old people's home. It's not one of those council ones, mind. No, full of elderly riffraff. No. Good home in Southport. Although I didn't want to go at first. I didn't think I was old, you see. No, not that old. I used to hate the old when I was younger. When I thought that growing old was a process of farting by the fireplace, growing facial hair and becoming senile. No. Not true at all. Not if you're lucky. Not if you don't want to, and not in my case. Not in Southport. But I was still hating the old before I realised I was old myself. But only in the mornings. No. I'm old in the mornings. The rest of the day, well, wait. I'm 14 again. Oh, yeah, I do. I love it here. I found a lot of things I've been missing here. More than missing. Things I didn't even know existed. I met my first, liberated man in Southport. He was 68 and he was just the first. Oh, yes. Night after sudden night they're having here. Oh, yeah. You'd be surprised. But only if you weren't old. Ah, yeah. It was like fasting for 40 years and then being invited to a feast. I haven't been to confession a lot recently, but I don't care. The only trouble is their stamina doesn't match their appetite. No, they keep dying on me. It is a shame, I know, but it's not a bad way to go. Better than being run over by a bus on a Pelican Crossing. But I've gone for the slightly less elderly man recently. What you would call a wrinkled tie boy. Very nice. Very keen. Very energetic. Oh. Said he was in the Mounties when he was younger and hasn't quite left him. He's taking me dancing later tonight. Dancing. Not that I trust him. Oh, no, thanks. Not after a husband who went and died before they hardly got to know him and two shiftless sods for sons. Oh, no, I've heard of his kind. He has a moustache. He's after a whirlwind romance, a fast marriage, and the contents of my life insurance. Thinks he'll have 2 years of Philistine and Horlicks, high blood pressure and dizzy spells, and then off I'll sodden pop. Leaving them a fortune. Not sodden likely. Oh, no. Oh, no. You learn things, you know. Oh, you do. You find things out. I sometimes think life is like a book. Even the last chapter can tell you things you didn't know. Do you want to know the daftest words in the English language? Will I tell you? It was that silly old sod, J.M. Barrie. Peter Pratt and Pan. The man was mad. Do you know what he wrote? To die will be an awfully big adventure. Off to sodden eternal hell with that. Go hurtling down the hill. It's better in the valley than you think. Live life to the full and go screaming into the hereafter. Oh, well. You can stop pretending to listen to me now. You'll find out. But do yourselves an almighty favour. Don't wait till you're looking through the big gates at Almighty God himself before you start to live. Go out dancing. About the 20s is that it was tremendously glamorous. We were always dancing and often laughing. Japes and hoots from sun up to twilight. Point
dancing at people on the underground, imitating foreigners. Such fun. Yes, we had poverty. Yes, we had beggars, and my goodness, they were jolly good at it. There was none of this sex you get so much of nowadays. We didn't do it, and we didn't want to do it. Absolutely everyone one knew was a virgin, unless they were a beggar. If one's young man took one home in a taxi from the Ritz or the Berkeley, he didn't come in and have sex. A thermos of soup and a chicken sandwich. I didn't have sex at all. Not one scrap until I was 67. And that, I may tell you, was only...
I've never wondered what a world leader dreams about.